motivated to serve with excellence. One critical area that requires immediate attention is the relationship between the police service and the communities in which they serve. Public trust in law enforcement is essential. Without it, effective policing becomes difficult. The concept of community policing must be strengthened. The police must be seen not as an intimidating force, but as a partner in crime prevention, safety, and development. Officers who serve and protect with empathy, fairness, and respect for human rights are respected in society.
As President John Dramani Mahama there. Beyond this, the President also emphasized the need to combat corruption and other unethical traits within the Ghana Police Service.
Your role will also involve rooting out corruption within the service. Corruption in law enforcement undermines justice and weakens public confidence in our security agencies. It is crucial that all forms of unethical behavior, from bribery to the abuse of power, are decisively dealt with. We must build a service that is respected both locally and internationally for its professionalism and integrity. Additionally, I want to emphasize the importance of improving the welfare of officers under your command. Policing is a very demanding profession that requires sacrifice and dedication. Our officers must be well remunerated, adequately housed, and given access to proper health care and psychological support. A motivated police force is a productive police force.
The President thanks also the immediate past IGP, Dr. George Ekufu-Dampare, for his service to the country. And I'm just receiving a statement, but before that, let's hear from the President thanking Dr. George Ekufu-Dampare for his service as Inspector General of Police of the Republic of Ghana.
Let me take this opportunity to also extend my deepest gratitude to the outgoing Inspector General of Police. He has served our nation with dedication and commitment, and his contribution to law enforcement and national security will not be forgotten. We thank him for his service and we wish him well in his future endeavors. To the brave men and women of the Ghana Police Service, I urge you to give your fullest cooperation to your new leader. You are the backbone of our national security framework. Your dedication and sacrifices keep our country safe. Know that the government is committed to providing you with the necessary resources, training, and carry out the necessary reforms to enable you carry out your duties effectively.
As a President, John Dramani Mahama there. Now, a number of issues have been playing out after this particular swearing in. The new IGP, COP Christian Titeyono, pledged to uphold the values and traditions of the Ghana Police Service while instilling discipline amongst the personnel within the service.
Your Excellency, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, this leadership position transcends mere title. It embodies a solemn responsibility that demands unwavering vigilance, integrity, and the ability to make decisions that safeguard the safety, security, and the well-being of our citizens and beyond. Your Excellency, I approach this responsibility with the utmost seriousness, fully recognizing the weight of expectations accompanying this role. In alignment with the transformation and modernization of the service, I pledge to uphold the values, traditions, and culture of the Ghana Police Service, consistent with the resetting agenda of Your Excellency, the President. In this regard, the guiding principles will include discipline and respect for seniority within the hierarchy structure of the service. So I assure you, Your Excellency, that professionalism, transparency, accountability, and fairness shall underpin my administration and focus on renewing attitudes and performance, thereby positioning the service to meet the aspirations of our people and foster peace and security in our country.
As Christian Tete-Yohono, the new IGP there, the new IGP also pledged to ensure that the dedication in deepening police-community relations as a key strategy to combat crime will be implemented to the latter.
Policing is a shared and collective responsibility. Consequently, community engagement and community policing and partnership will be an essential strategy for communities to participate in crime prevention and fighting. I take this opportunity to express my heartfelt gratitude to my family, colleagues, and loved ones for supporting me throughout my journey. Your guidance and trust have been instrumental in shaping me into the leader I am today. And I will continue to depend on your expertise as we work collectively to reset and consolidate the norms and tradition of our institution. At this juncture, I wish to acknowledge the remarkable achievements of my predecessors whose dedication and excellence have paved the way for our present endeavors. To the courageous policemen and women who believe in my ability to lead, I commit to remaining diligent and transparent in all pursuits to collectively build the service we aspire to for our beloved nation.
As a new IGP there was wild jubilation amongst the rank and file of the police service following the appointment and subsequent swearing in of COP Christian Tete-Yohono as the new IGP. And if you go on our Facebook page right now, we're going to show you videos of this wild jubilation, and one of which has caught some attention is when the new IGP arrived at the police headquarters, and a later group of civilians and police personnel gathered earlier today to give a warm welcome to the newly appointed IGP at the police headquarters. Now, the jubilant crowd, mostly dressed in white, expressed their pride and support for COP Yohono as his convoy entered the premises. During the arrival, a yet-to-be-identified man was seen showering cash at the people surrounding the vehicle. A rush ensued as the money flew through the air before landing on the ground, sparking enthusiasm and jubilation amongst those fortunate enough to have collected some of the cash. And, well, there's some security analysts who are not too happy about this. Emmanuel Kutin is joining us on the telephone. For you, we run through the achievement and the sense of Dr. George Akufo-Dampare. Emmanuel Kutin is Executive Director of the Africa Center for Security and Counterterrorism. Thank you so much for joining us here, Mr. Kutin. Now, first of all, I don't know if you also seen that video of this cash spraying at the police headquarters, and how does all of that strike you?
Thank you, Alfred, for having me, and good evening to your very cherished listeners. Indeed, I saw the same video and the reference, and it speaks volumes about the state of our police as an institution. It has never happened in the arsenals of this country that change of leadership within a security services like the Ghana Police Service, you see personnel openly jubilating the way they did. And mind you, Alfred, those people you said they are civilians, they were not civilians. It is the personnel themselves who have given up the uniform, and they decide to wear white today for the breaking news. Sometimes the appointment of the new IGP as a new independence for the police service, and I think that is so telling and is unacceptable anywhere and must be condemned. Because don't forget, this is a regimental institution, and if you watch the video carefully, the new IGP was almost shoved onto the floor. Had it not been the intervention of his guys around him. And such things should not be allowed to foster in our security institutions. I think it was a clear breach, and such must be condemned by all and sundry. And the individual seen spraying the money in the video, I think we need to identify that individual. And if he's a serving police officer, he'll be made to face the service inquiries because we need a professional police force and not this kind of miscreants.
I see. And then beyond that, this change in the that's the police hierarchy, has attracted some conversation as well, because this is a man who is not new to the leadership of the Ghana Police Service. Prior to today, he was serving as the Deputy IGP, a very contentious position, that he was announced and as it were appointed sometime in August last year. Now he's the IGP. What exactly does Christian Tete-Yowono, from your own security perspective, bring to the table as a new IGP in terms of his leadership style and his operational acumen as well?
If you look at the professional career of the new IGP, it's so telling. Right from when he joined the service as a constable in 1985, his peacekeeping duties abroad, where he rose to command positions. And when he came back, he operated within the financial police administrative system until he opted to come into the mainstream policing. And if you recall, some time back when he was the Director General of Operations, we had very hardened criminals, even in Accra, and through his leadership, we were able to bring all those things under control. What I know about him is he's a man of very few words, but he's very detailed. And that is the joy of the service at the moment. Because if you look at the police as an institution, given the colonial days and pre-independence, you see that the service was responsive to the regime and not the people. But from 1992, when under the Fourth Republican Constitution, we introduced the community policing model, it kind of transformed the service to be community-oriented and citizen-focused. And he has been part of all these processes. I think the time he fell out with Dampare was when he was appointed as the Deputy IGP in charge of operations. And the service is operation-oriented. And Dampare is somebody who wouldn't share his authority or powers with anybody. If you recall, when that appointment came, some of us termed it as things fall apart. And truly, they were never able to work together. If you look at your new statement today, he made reference to the contributions of his predecessors. He couldn't reference Dampare as the immediate boss he served under. And it's so telling, because I say this, Dampare is that IGP that divided the nation, where others thought he did so well. The personnel he led didn't agree with many of his policies. And today, in one of my interviews, I liken him to a father who doesn't take care of his wife and children and then take the goodies out. And to me, there's nothing really tangible under his regime beyond visibility, because the Ghana Police Service still remains an institution stuck in its old ways. Extrajudicial killings is still around, and he in person has been accused of extrajudicial killing by no means the citizens, but 7 police officers who were prepared to come out and testify. And if you remember the 2020 elections, the people that were killed in the Brand-Harford region, he didn't take any action on it until the new president directed him to take some action on it. And we still have these kill and cover up operations, the habit of framing up innocent people, issues with promotions. And I have been vocal about it. Given that the institution is a regimental institution, there must be respect for seniority. And I was happy the new IGP indicated in his acceptance address that indeed the period of insubordination is over and there must be respect to seniority. And the Dampare, we had seniors manning districts as commanders where their juniors are divisional commanders. And you can imagine when a senior is reported to a junior. And the issue of promotions is another topic altogether. We cannot talk about it because of time constraints. And there were even claims of vindictiveness against him. And, you know, his handling of the protesters were some of the things, to me, as a security watcher, I think it was the lowest point of the police as an institution, given that we are in a democracy. More often than not, if police were not beating protesters, they were in court fighting protesters not to protest. And I feel that that was not good under his watch. And if you look at the way he sanitarized his administration, where all directives must emanate from his office, I thought that was very unacceptable under a democracy such as ours. If you spoke to many of the regional commanders, they will tell you they were just sitting in their office and they didn't have authority to say anything until they get directives from Accra. And it became a habit that every evening at 10 p.m., they have to have Zoom meeting with him, and was treating them like kids. And these are people who are nearing their 60 years and have sacrificed so much for this service. So to me, it is a good lesson for those people who are occupying public office that you cannot treat it as if it's your family property or your own. When such opportunities are given, what you do is you build bridges and not building walls over you. Sadly.
But, I just want to find out what exactly was the problem with, for instance, the daily 10 p.m. briefings via Zoom by these, senior officers. I mean, one would also argue that he was employing technology, getting the daily briefs from them, instead of, for instance, having to summon an in-person meeting. How about that?
Well, if you look at the concept of decentralization, what he was doing went utter virus against that. The commanders were not really given powers to, to act on their own. And those meetings were not meant to get briefing from the commanders. If you speak to the commanders, they were rather briefing for them to receive instructions and do things the way he wanted it and deemed fit for the service. And he would not in any way accept any differing opinion from any of the commanders. And to the extent that sometimes he even insults them. And look, Alfred, given our security terrain, after 10 o'clock, those are the dangerous time criminals are in operation. And these are the time the regional commanders should be in link with the divisional and district commanders within their systems to make sure that security systems are deployed. So I think that the timing was not right. And if the indication was that those strategies were put in place for security briefing, why not? We are in a technological world, but he directed that good, But let me come to this. You remember we had regional police bureaus.
Yes.
Under his regime, we really heard from them. And there were issues the president raised. I was happy when the president spoke about the new emerging threats that are facing our country, with terrorism lurking at the corner. And he specifically mentioned about cybersecurity. Under Mamitiwa as Director General of CID, she went out of her way to appeal to international agencies for funding to set up the cybersecurity unit within the police service. When he came, he threw it out. And my respected brother, Dr. Gustav, who had trained and even had a scholarship from government to go and train and come and man that office, was kind of rendered redundant. And I think some of these things should not continue. Under his regime, we didn't have crime statistics. And my question is that, how do we plan if there are no crime statistics? And another thing that some of us were not happy was that, you see, crimes evolve. And with technology, you have to also put systems in place to make sure that you keep citizens safe. Alfred, today, you can go to the Ghana Police Service and have any form of data about activities in terms of crime there. So I think the new IGP should focus on creating some form of database. And I'm not sure they need to even start anywhere. We have the NIA that have done that already. We just need to synchronize that so that it is easy to do character reference in due time. Now, if you were to go to the Ghana Police Service today to get a character reference clearance, you go and they still use this slab for the thumbprint. In this modern world, where is that done? So to me, we should not create a system that creates strong men, but we should create situations that build strong institutions.
Right.
And Dampari should be a reminder that any future IGP cannot, like Dampari operated, look at the service as if it is his or her baby and he decide what we need to do.
Okay.
But in the longer term, Alfred, we need security sector reform. We need a serious.
I'm going to come to the reforms, because it's a very, very key part of the whole situation and how things are playing out, especially not only in the Ghana Police Service but across the security service as well, because George Akufo-Dampare sacking also led to new appointments of heads of the other security agencies as well, which we will come to. But these are the key events that it took place during George Akufo-Dampare's era between 2021, that's August 2021, and just yesterday, 13th of March 2025, when he was IGP. If you recall, it stoked controversy in 2022 when he took on the British High Commissioner to Ghana for engaging in local politics for her comments on the arrest of activist Oliver Bakavomawo. He also increased police visibility, which Mr. Kote, you mentioned. Policemen handed hundreds of motorbikes to undertake regular patrols and combat crime, and you see them across on major streets across the country, and a regular engagement with CSOs and members of the creative industry, refurbishment of key police facilities, including the police headquarters, and the beautification of the police headquarters is also one that he has received praise for. A centralized police communication system, which the media had cause to raise concerns about, because prior to his appointment, we were having consistent engagement with police commanders across the country. Regional police PROs were giving us updates, but when he came in, he says, well, don't grant interviews, let the communication come from the police headquarters. And normally it came through statements, and we just received statements and nothing else. But then also he was credited for crackdown on the doomsday prophecies, and we've seen less and less of that during his tenure as IGP. There are a few concerns about that centralization of the communication limited to just the headquarters. There was also concerns about promotion of officers and transfers. A number of the police officers are in court as a result of this. A failure to effectively investigate the 2020, even though he was not in office, he was charged to investigate the 2020 and 2024 that is election killings and the violence that resulted in those deaths. Also, the allegations of extrajudicial killings against him and so on. Well, we'll go on to the telephone. We lost our other colleague. We'll try to raise Musa Dankwa back on the telephone to have a quick conversation with him. He is the executive director of the Global Info Analytics. They did a survey sometime in 2023, and based on the outcome of that survey, they said that most of the respondents had indicated that the president, that is after the elections, whoever wins, should not sack Dr. George Akufo-Dampare. I don't know if he, that is Musa Dankwa, will stand by the details of this survey 2 years on, because this was done in 2023, as we do know it, and the details captured in this particular survey. So if you look at it, bothered on both the swing regions and also the Akan regions as well. And Mr. Dankwa is joining us on the telephone right now. Good evening. Thank you so much for joining us here on Hot Edition. Now, I'm looking at your survey results, Mr. Dankwa, and 3 years ago, sometime in 2023, October 2023, you had, based on the poll results, indicated that George Akufo-Dampare should not be sacked. That is as of the time. Would you still stand by the details of that survey 2 years on and looking at what's happened today?
Alfred, thank you very much for having me. If you read my comment on Dampare's situation, I was coming from an angle where IGPs are sacked by every president. And if you look at what happened in the 2024 election, and indeed, it's from that angle we're asking voters whether they have confidence in him and his team in managing the elections. I think we all bear witnesses to the election day activities and how the policing went. Yes, things may have not gone well after the elections. There were a few issues here and there. But overall, from the public perspective, the IGP was the most popular.
I see. But then again, you agree with that's Manokotin, who we're just speaking to him. He says that he likens George Akufo-Dampare to a one person who is loved by the public, but not wholly loved by the police. That is his children that he's supposed to be taking care of. Would you agree with that narrative?
I would not disagree with him since he's an insider. I don't think that the sentiments in the police service. I make that public sentiment. And obviously, it's not only sentiment public as the president takes to appoint or disappoint someone. A lot of thinking go into appointing an IGP. And what the president knows or the person he had probably overweigh any confidence the public have in the IGP. And he is right to do whatever he wants to do. But for me, I was drawing his attention that the man is popular. So if he takes that decision, then he must know if there's any reputation. I think he understands fully what that will be.
I see. But then looking at the change of events now and his replacement as well, and we've seen some wild jubilation amongst the, at least some personnel of the Ghana Police Service themselves. What does this tell you?
It tells you that probably he's liked outside and hated inside. And in some cases, that should not be surprising for people who are driving some change management process in any organization. But I think the level of dislike is probably, for me, is talking. Maybe there's a lot more we don't know about him that is coming out now, and probably the public doesn't know. So maybe over time, the public will afraid itself with the man they came to love so much.
And with you know, are you also going to do a survey on the new IGP in terms of acceptance rate and juxtapose it with what maybe an exit survey for Dr. George Akufo-Dampare?
Yes, certainly we'll do that. We are planning to do a survey about performance during the election. We'll try and see how we can modify this question to assess his tenure and whether the public support his removal and whether they would support the appointment of the new person.
So, Dankwa, I appreciate you for this, and thank you so much, as always, for connecting with us. And Mr. Kuting, so you hear Mr. Dankwa make the point about now getting to know things that we probably did not know. So then now the public is being opened up to in terms of what is within the Ghana Police Service itself. But Dr. George Akufo-Dampare also came up for commendation during the elections because of the conduct of the police during the elections, and even before that, the Asin North by-elections as well. We're used to that narrative that an IGP who is appointed by a particular regime works in the interest of that regime. Did you see that happen, and would you also go on that same path that George Akufo-Dampare did not allow his appointment by President Akufo-Addo to influence his work in these two elections at the least?
Well, Alfred, if you put the president's statement today into context, it largely reflects the situation of within the service. And I think the commendation during the elections, it was based on the personnel, the police personnel and other security personnel desire for change in the country. Dampare is just an individual. It means that the president made a profound statement today that a motivated police service is a productive workforce. So given the cries of the police personnel, it means that they were not motivated. But they felt that if there was a change of government, that is the only way they could get Dampare out. And you see that the election and the new president won, the police personnel openly called for his removal. Now, you looked at, if you look at the achievements you mentioned some few movements ago, you realize that the bad outweighs the good. You mentioned of the UK High Commissioner. It became a serious diplomatic role. I believe you remember. Indeed. Where they had to go in conclave and give serious apology to the British High Commission and the good people of Britain. The visibility we are talking about, it was not his initiative. He only came and brought some, he kind of upscaled it to some level. So one will ask, what was transformative about Dampare's tenure? To me, his trade in stock wasn't policing at all, but it was in the PR, just like my good friend, the info analytic person mentioned. You see, he cultivated worthy allies in academia, in CSOs, and in the media. And that explains why Dampare became untouchable. And you dare not criticize him, because if you do, it meant that these allies will come after you. Is it not surprising that under Dampare's regime, a very credible and well-respected policy think tank like Imani, a very well-respected security expert or analyst like Professor Kwesi Enim, who has taught me before, and then the info analytic man himself, they were the people, and one Kofi Bento, championing the call for Dampare to be retained to the extent that they went to court. When I heard about the court case, I thought it was one of the jokes of the century, until yesterday when I read on our platform there was a writ, they went to court to twist the president's hand not to remove Dampare because the goal being that Dampare was to be relieved for his post yesterday. After, for Christ's sake, who goes to court on a hearsay? So this is the stark reality we are all faced with as a country. I think Dampare have left the police as an institution worse off than he met it.
I appreciate your time. Thank you so much for joining us, Emmanuel Kutin, and it's a security analyst. But beyond this, Martin Pebu is a private legal practitioner. He's also been talking about the aftermath of the sacking of Dr. George Akufo-Dampare and why he believes that this conversation about reforms in terms of the appointment of IGPs is one that going forward should be looked at. But for now, he believes that the appointment of IGPs is a political decision which must also be considered in the scheme of analyzing the state of affairs.
When it comes to those matters, usually a president would appoint persons he's comfortable with because they help in providing security, right? Not just their personal security, but the whole of Ghana, right? Yes, so to that extent, and for other factors, it makes the appointment political. Because when you even go to the Constitution, Article 202, it just says the Inspector General of Police shall be appointed by the President, acting in consultation with the Council of State. All right? Now, you see that it doesn't make the appointment subject to parliamentary approval. You see, when it comes to judges, you see from Article 144 onwards, you see that they go through parliamentary approval as well. When I say judges, I mean the Supreme Court judges. So you see that gives that level of, it's not perfect, but at least that's an attempt. And all the people of Ghana, represented by the MPs, vote to accept the judges. So you see that they work across administrations, right? So whether when you are appointed as a Supreme Court judge by an MPP administration, it doesn't mean when the MPP loses power, you also leave office. So you see that the persons appointed by Kufuor, more than 10 of them, they are also in office. That doesn't happen to an IG. An IG is largely in charge of security, okay, the internal security, and that has a lot of political ramifications. An IG is a politician. Look, let's be very blunt. An IGP, the Ghanaian structure that we operate, is a politician first class. So it's unimaginable to say that a president should retain an IG appointed by the previous president for the entire 4 years. No, that's not it. Then if we want to do such a thing, then we have to restructure the police service. But as it stands now, the IG is a political appointee. No mistake about that. And so why would you saddle a president with a political appointee of his predecessor? It doesn't happen that way. Let's be very blunt. Let's not make a mistake that, it's a professional body. No. The fact that it's a professional body doesn't mean that they cannot be made partisan. An IG is partisan, okay? It's partisan to the person who appoints him, just like the way the civil service, sometimes you say neutrality. No, that's not. If you read the memorandum, the famous memo from the UK, a civil servant is partisan to the person who is in office. So it's like when MPP is in office, he's partisan to MPP. When NDC comes, he's partisan to NDC, right? That's how it is. So this particular matter, looking at the Constitution hasn't structured even the appointment process of the IGP to give him that kind of independence to stay beyond the period of his appointment.
As Martin Peebles, private legal practitioner there. Now, former Inspector General of Police, Dr. George Ekuffo-Dampare, has expressed gratitude to Ghanaians, government, and the Ghana Police Service following the announcement of his replacement. In a statement we just received a copy of minutes ago, Dr. Dampare extended his appreciation to God and Ghanaians for their prayers, blessings, and support throughout his tenure as IGP. He noted that he was overwhelmed by the outpouring of love from well-wishers across the country and beyond, particularly in the 24 hours following his removal. He acknowledged former President Kufuor for appointing him, stating, quote, "I wish to express my heartfelt thanks and appreciation to the former President, His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Kufuor, for giving me the opportunity to serve our nation as Inspector General of Police," unquote. Dr. Dampare also expressed gratitude to President John Mahama, appreciating the cordial working relationship they shared in the short period before his removal. He noted that Ghana's leadership had played a significant role in ensuring the continuity of the police service. He extended appreciation to religious and traditional leaders for their prayers, wisdom, and guidance, describing their insights as indispensable in his leadership. He also acknowledged the support of sister security agencies, saying their cooperation was key to maintaining law and order. Dr. Dampare further thanked civil society organizations for their contributions to improving the police service through constructive dialogue and engagement. So this is a statement coming through from the former IGP, Dr. George Ekuffo-Dampare. But there's been a lot that's happened today in the security services, because President John Mahama has also announced sweeping restructuring of Ghana's security sector, appointing new heads for the Ghana Prison Service, Ghana National Fire Service, and the Ghana Immigration Service. The move follows Thursday's swearing in of the COP. That's our new IGP, replacing Dr. George Akuffo-Dampare, who was sacked yesterday. In a statement issued by the presidency earlier today, spokesperson Felix Kwachiofosu confirmed the latest changes, emphasizing President Mahama's commitment to modernizing Ghana's security institutions. The reshuffle, conducted under Article 91 and 202 of the 1992 Constitution and following consultations with the Council of State, signals a major leadership transition across the critical agencies. Here are the key appointees. The Deputy Director General of Prisons, DDGP Patience Bafo-Boni, has been appointed as the new Director General of the Ghana Prison Service, succeeding Isaac Kofi Ejir. Deputy Chief Fire Officer DCFO Daniela Mausi Into Sapong has also been announced as the Chief Fire Officer of the Ghana National Fire Service, taking over from Julius Kuno. Also, the Deputy Comptroller of the Immigration Service, DCI Samuel Basintale, has also taken over from Kwame Esia Techi. Now, the President described the appointment as part of a broader strategy to, quote, strengthen operational efficiency, accountability and innovation within Ghana's security framework. These changes come amid rising public demand for robust reforms to address evolving security challenges and also improve service delivery. COP Yohuno's elevation to IGP earlier today set the tone for the shakeup, with analysts noting a clear push for fresh leadership to drive institutional transformation. So that's what we do know right now in the security agencies. We keep an eye on how things are playing out here on Hot Edition. But away from that, the committee tasked to probe the devastating dam spillage from Akonsombo 2 years ago. It's also saying they will seek to conclude their work within a month to allow government to take action on their recommendations. Energy Minister Dr. John Jenapo on Thursday inaugurated the committee to probe the circumstances surrounding the dam spillage, which left many without a place of abode. With no proper compensation, the Mahama administration vowed to investigate the development. Speaking to 3FM, member of the committee Kwame Jantua said they will seek to make the best proposals available for further action to prevent an occurrence in the future. We'll bring that to you right after this quick break. Stay with us. And Bismarck Kilsa is standing by with the latest in the world of business here on Hot Edition.
Ghana, it's time to globalize. Gobe Nation and Gobe Eaters Association, it's time to assemble. Get ready for Ghana's ultimate beans-based food festival, 3FM Gobe Festival 2025. This year on the 22nd of March at Lagos City Mall, we're on a mission to celebrate all things beans from your favorite vendors. Come and immerse yourself in an electrifying atmosphere filled with great food, refreshing drinks, live band music, fun games, jama sessions, crown our king and queen of Gobe, and find out who wins Gobeathon amongst many activities. 3FM Gobe Festival on the 22nd of March at Legon City Mall from 10 a.m. If you're an interested vendor or sponsor, please call 0531 100 927 or 0532 200 927 right now. Let's get Gobelicious on the 22nd of March and make history at 3FM's Gobe Festival at Legon City Mall. It's absolutely free. 3FM Gobe Festival 2025, celebrating culture, love, and unity through Gobe. Powered by 3FM 92.7, your urban lifestyle radio. Proudly sponsored by Origin.
Hello, good evening and welcome to the business segment on Hot Edition with me, Bismarck Ausa. Coming up tonight, Institute of Economic Research and Public Policy warns growth levy increase could make Ghana unattractive to investors. Thanks for your company. Now to our very first story, the Institute of Economic Research and Public Policy has criticized the government's decision to raise the Growth and Sustainability Levy, warning it could discourage investment in Ghana. Finance Minister Dr. Kasiel Ato-Forson announced in the 2025 budget that the levy would increase from 1% to 3%, aiming to minimize benefits from the extractive sector. But speaking at a post-budget forum held in collaboration with the University of Professional Studies, Accra, Director of Institute of Economic Research and Public Policy, Professor Isaac Boidi, cautioned that the levy hike could make Ghana less attractive to investors, potentially impacting growth in the sector.
There's another part that we think from our institute the government should have considered, and that happens to be the growth and stability tax that's going to give it to the mining community. For me, we've been crying all the time looking for investment to invest funds in Ghana, and these are key players in the economy. If you want to slash this huge tax on them, are you going to have this investment come into your country? So the government should, unless these issues are captured well in the main document, then we can understand. But as it stands now, it's worrying. That tax is another issue that we have to look at again.
And that was Director of the Institute of Economic Research and Public Policy, Professor Isaac Boidi. Moving on, government's 2025 budget statement proposes consolidating 3 existing levies: the Energy Debt Recovery Levy, Energy Sector Recovery Levy, and Sanitation and Pollution Levy into a single fund. This consolidated fund is projected to generate 4.2 billion cedis in 2025. However, the energy sector's legacy debt currently exceeds 35 billion cedis. Executive Director of the Center for Environmental Management and Sustainable Energy, SEMSI, Benjamin Insia, has called on the government to provide a clear and comprehensive plan for resolving this significant debt burden once and for all.
There's still a huge financing gap with respect to SL's ability to fund the sector shortfall. However, our government could not tell us where they are going to mobilize alternative resources to be able to fund this particular huge shortfall of about 35 or 31 billion Ghana cedis, even if SLA is able to fund 4.2. Now, the challenge is that if you are not able to state clearly, without ambiguity, where we are going to source fund to offset these legacy debt as well as this shortfall, that means that the power sector challenges or crisis will not be solved in the short and medium term. The problem of the sector will continue.
And that was Executive Director of the Center for Environmental Management and Sustainable Energy, SEMSI, Benjamin Insia. Before we go, Guinness Smooth has been rebranded to give more vibrancy and expression to its new park. The redesigned park captures the brand's dynamic premium, offering the same perfect old smooth.
Its launch in 2019, Guinness Smooth has carved out its place as a standout beer, offering a smoother, more laid-back take on the iconic style. The new design embraces a modern, energetic look that reflects the creativity, vibrancy, and sense of togetherness of the individuals who patronize it. The launch event saw people from the entertainment industry, bloggers, and staff from Guinness Ghana, among others, celebrating the brand's new design. Head of Marketing at Guinness Ghana Limited, Sabina Menu, shared what inspired the transformation.
We had Guinness Smooth in the market some years ago, but we've also done some work on the brand. We've reinvented it. We have rebranded it and made it represent more of what we're actually looking for in Africa. It's a lighter beer It's an extension of the Guinness trademark. So everyone who knows Guinness Foreign Extra Stouts, which we call Guinness FES, the Guinness that everyone knows, is very popular. It's a growing brand. It's a brand that Ghanaians love. We know that. But we also know that there's some consumers who are looking for something more, something different, something lighter, something smoother. It's just a fresh, vibrant liquid that we expect will resonate with our consumers, and we expect that they'll really love it and enjoy it.
He said the new look is vibrant and reflects the people who enjoy the stout.
The Guinness brand will continue to be vibrant, will continue to be bold. One of the things that we can actually look out for FES, you know that Guinness is a partner for the English Premier League. I'm sure most of you are aware of that. We will be bringing the EPL trophy to Ghana next weekend, and we're going to have some events, bring consumers around. We have match day activations where we bring our consumers to enjoy live football matches in some of our favorite bars and pubs. For Guinness Smooth, we're also targeting our co-creators, fashion houses, artists. We really want to be able to put the best work of Ghanaians on the map as much as possible.
And that will be all for the business segment here on Hot Edition with me, Bismarck Ausa. For more business stories, please check out our website 3news.com. Sports is next, please stay.
Ghana, it's time to globalize. Gobe Nation and Gobe Eaters Association, it's time to assemble. Get ready for Ghana's ultimate beans-based food festival, 3FM Gobe Festival 2025. This year on the 22nd of March at Lagos City Mall, we're on a mission to celebrate all things beans from your favorite vendors. Come and immerse yourself in an electrifying atmosphere filled with great food, refreshing drinks, live band music, fun games, jama sessions, crown our king and queen of Gobe, and find out who wins Gobeathon amongst many activities. 3FM Gobe Festival on the 22nd of March at Lagos City Mall from 10 a.m. If you're an interested vendor or sponsor, please call 0531 100 927 or 0532 200 927 right now. Let's get Gobelicious on the 22nd of March and make history at 3FM's Gobe Festival at Lagos City Mall. It's absolutely free. 3FM Gobe Festival 2025, celebrating culture, love, and unity through Gobe. Powered by 3FM 92.7, your urban lifestyle radio. Proudly sponsored by Origin.
It's the battle of the teams in a 3FM 60-day Fit Start Challenge. Which team will come up and tact triumph, or will youth and energy win? Call or WhatsApp on these numbers: 0532 300 927 or 0532 200 927. Now, to join Team Comfort or Team Helen and enjoy holistic wellness coaching, specialized diet plans, and cooking tutorials, thrilling exercises, challenges, and activities, plus many exciting rewards. 3FM Fit Start is sponsored by Daffy's Health and Beauty, Bill's Microfinance and Usual Premier, and supported by Blue Skies.
Good evening, and it's now time for sports on Hot Edition with me, Akusia AJ. In our first story, we're looking at the Ghana Premier League, where Insuatreman FC have released a statement indicating their decision to withdraw from the Ghana Premier League. In a press statement, the club cited recent incidents during their matches against Asante Kotoko and Samatex as the primary reasons for their decision. The club emphasized that the safety of their players and officials cannot be guaranteed, leaving them with no option but to step away from the league. The GFA is here to respond to Insuatreman's request. If approved, the league will continue with 17 teams instead of 18 for the remaining 14 matches. This development could significantly impact the relegation battle, where Karela United, Lagos Cities, and Accra Lions currently occupy the bottom 3 spots. In some other stories, Ghana is set to face Chad and Madagascar in two crucial World Cup qualifiers after failing to qualify for the 2025 AFCON. Ket, the president of the Ghana Football Association, believes the World Cup should serve as a powerful motivation for the players.
I think that Ghana is a nation that is very expectant, given the recent performances of the team. But I believe that the players do realize or do acknowledge what is at stake, and that's inclusive of the Tenkar team, for which reason they have called for undiluted support by the Ghanaian people. And I believe that they will be, and they are ready to put up their best for their country. I believe going to the World Cup is a big motivation for everybody, the players inclusive. And I want to believe that they'll be ready to do their best for Ghana.
How are your emotions?
I want Ghana to be present at every international meet, the AFCON inclusive. I will never be happy that Ghana will not be at the AFCON, but that's the reality of life. And I think that hard lessons have been learned by everybody, me inclusive. I'll go out there to Morocco to watch the tournament, to be part of the group. But obviously, I would love Ghana to be there whilst I'm there. I hope that the players, the Tenkar team, everybody within the space will definitely not be happy that we are not there. And that should be a motivation to all of us. As far as our responsibilities and duties towards the national engagement are concerned.
That was the GFA president, Ket Simenokraku, with Alexis Laura, a freelance journalist. We still stay with the GFA president as he shared his thoughts on being elected as a CAF executive committee member. Elected unopposed for a 4-year term from 2025 to 2029, Okoroko secured a seat on the 24-member decision-making body of African football's governing organization. Expressing his excitement, Ket remains optimistic about leveraging his position to advance Ghanaian football.
I think I'm very humbled. I appreciate the opportunity my members have offered me to serve football at the highest level on the African continent. I think I belong to a privileged group that have been given the chance to serve, and I do not take this lightly at all. I'm grateful to all the members within the zone, on the African continent, with all the MAs belonging to the 54 countries who have reposed their confidence in my good self, and a few others to serve their interests. And it is an opportunity that I will not take for granted at all.
Set to face Ghana, Chad and Madagascar in the upcoming World Cup qualifiers, the pressure is mounting following the team's failure to qualify for the AFCON. OU believes the inclusion of key figures like Stephen Appiah on the management committee will play a vital role in the team's quest for a spot at the 2026 World Cup.
No, it's not the coaching. I think they know the problem. The management are trying to resolve those problems, what is going on, because now they bring Stephen Appiah on board, they make new management. We pray that things will go well for them.
And now to some fixtures for the coming weekend in the Ghana Premier League, where Samatex will play against Kumasi Asante Kotoko. Young Apostles will play against Accra Lions. Accra Heart of Folk will host Dreams FC. Nations will play against Mediema SC. Adriana Stars playing against Bibiani Gold Stars. Legon Cities will slug it out with Brecum Chelsea, while Baseke Holy Stars face Inswatreman FC. Accra Lions will play against Karela United, and Bechem United will play against Vision FC. In some other stories on the foreign front, ahead of the London derby between second place Arsenal and Chelsea manager Enzo Maresca have admitted that though his side is behind Arsenal, they will work hard to bridge the gap.
It's quite big. The reason why is because they are working with the same manager 5 years, so the difference is quite important. With same players, they already played for some important game, but our target, our duty is to close that gap between us and them. In this moment, the table just said that the difference between us and them is, I think, 6 points, if I'm not wrong. So we are quite close, but we have still 9 games to go.
Liverpool will also be hosting Newcastle in the EFL Cup final. This has been the Sports on Hot edition. Remember to follow us on all of our social media for more updates on sports. My name is Akusia Ej. Thanks for listening.
In a 3FM 60-day Fit Stance Challenge. Which team will come up tops? Will it be Team Comfort?
Welcome back. You're still live here on Hot Edition on 3FM 92.7. We're also live on Kesmi 107.1 in Tamale and beyond. We're live on W 93.5 in Wa and beyond. Your thoughts, views, comments, and opinions are welcome. 3FM 927 on Facebook and on X. We read out to you and to the rest of the world. Let's go on to some more stories here on Hot Edition. Now, the physician specialist at the Fianquanta Regional Hospital, Dr. Jamila Khalid, has disclosed that the hospital's dialysis unit is facing significant challenges in meeting its demand. She says that the number of patients requiring dialysis daily exceeds the available machines, making it difficult to provide timely treatment to those in need. Rama Smith is going to be joining me live shortly. to have a conversation on this. But while we are at it, let's go straight to the Upper West region, where health authorities have announced that the situation of meningitis is now under control, as no district reached the epidemic threshold in the past 3 weeks, indicating a significant decline in new cases. A man on the ground, Ibrahim Wangara, has been following this development and has filed this report.
John Dramani Mahama promised that within 120 days of assumption of office, he will start. But I'm very sure that we are even finishing within the 120 days. And so this is good. They've asked a couple of things. I'm going to discuss all these with Excellency John Dramani Mahama to see how best we can position Kumasi Swami Magazi to discharge their mandate. This is a unique place. This is a one-stop shop for automobiles. I think that as a country, we need to pay attention to Kumasi Swami Magazi and exactly what Excellency John Dramani Mahama has asked me to do.
Let's go on to some stories now. And the fire outbreak in the Konongo-Dumase area, just a little over a week ago, has generated concerns about measures to be put in place to ensure that this does not happen again, especially because this is not the first time we're having such fire outbreaks instigated by mining explosives. And this report by Ibrahim Abubakar has the details.
As well as some residents of Dumase who are currently recovering at the various hospitals. Mr. Speaker, with this statement, we understand that the 5th of March was a sad day for Dumase, and indeed a sad day for Ghana. The nature and the scale of disaster is one that cannot be overemphasized. We have seen similar scale of disaster of this nature in this country. We saw one happening at Apiatis, who sadly in 2022, where lives were lost, about 17 lives were lost in that instance. In this particular incident, we are told that currently some 5 persons have sadly lost their lives, and others in critical condition, with properties that have been razed down in explosion. But the properties and stores may be reconstructed, but the lives lost cannot be recovered. So it's important that as this is brought to the fore, we follow up keenly, lessons drawn from it, scaled up across the country to be on the preventive side to ensure that the storage and sale of explosives are enforced, the regulations of this enterprise is well enforced across the country, and we do not wait for another incident of this nature to reoccur. But Ghana...
Other members of parliament who took turns to contribute to the statement also asked for measures to be put in place to address such explosive disasters in the future.
The incidence of fires occurring in our communities across our constituencies and markets is becoming all too common. And Mr. Speaker, it's starting to cause great concern to all of us, especially given the level of damage, the death toll, and the effect on livelihoods to our constituents. I would like to take the opportunity to offer my condolences to the families of the bereaved, as well as wish a speedy recovery to the personnel and other persons who played their role in bringing the fire under control. Mr. Speaker, there is a need for urgent retooling of the Ghana National Fire Service. Time and again, when they come before the Committee on Defense and Interior, the budgets that they require in order to be able to fulfill their mandate and protect our citizens and properties is never up to the level that is required. And time and again, they face problems even accessing some of the places where there are fires because certain rules and regulations are not adhered to when it comes to the building of certain structures. Mr. Speaker, the illegal electricity connections that are also made are key to what is happening in our various markets, as well as the fact that sometimes the fire hydrants are not accessible to the Ghana National Fire Service. Mr. Speaker, if we are to see indeed a change in the trend that we keep seeing, then there has to be an all-of-government and all-of-sector approach to how these issues are approached. I do add my voice to the maker of the statement with regards to what has to be done as a matter of urgency to actually curb this incident of fires.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise to support the statement and to commend the maker of the statement, the Honourable Member for Asante-Achem Central, a very respected Member of Parliament, and to join my colleagues in extending sincere condolences and sympathies to the families of the lives that have sadly been lost through this tragic incident, and also to signal our sympathies for the speedy recovery.
Away from that, 3 children aged between 9 and 14 have drowned in mining pits within a span of 2 weeks in the eastern region. Families have been left devastated. Yvonne Nikwe has the rest of the story.
So at this unclaimed site, 2 children belonging to same household lost their lives here when they attempted swimming here. Several unclaimed sites continue to trap children in this particular region. In the space of 2 weeks, 3 children have died from unreclaimed sites.
The drowning incidents highlight the ongoing dangers posed by irresponsible mining practices, which are not only destroying arable lands and farmlands, damaging ecosystems and threatening livelihoods, but also claiming precious lives. Kwabneji and his wife are heartbroken after losing 2 children who drowned in a mining pit while attempting to swim at Abompe in the Fantiaka South District over the weekend.
I'm so glad to be able to make a banana coming in and man. If you from my buyer, and I'm the better says, my man be not to swim. So, yes, I'm almost ashamed of Tim. I'm pinning by me call home, me coina, and of course, one more. Whom we shall a crown. I'm swimming here and we coina crown back on you back to a sort of an condition soon as I say.
The aftermath of irresponsible mining in the Fantiaka South District has led to the destruction of several acres of land, with unclaimed pits scattered across communities and homes, posing significant risks. Severely impacted also are local rivers, streams, and access to clean potable water for nearby communities. The head of the Eastern Regional Security Council, Rita Ejay Awate, visited the grieving parents in Abompe to express her condolences. She condemned the devastation caused by unregulated mining and directed the police to investigate the matter and take action against the miner responsible.
Me charge police for Ewaha. Let's investigate into the issue. Let's know whoever mined here. I hope you will know.
Sustainable Development 5 enjoins government to, by 2030, manage forests sustainably, halt and reverse land and natural habitat degradation, successfully combating desertification and stop biodiversity loss. The Mahama-led regime has made statements since resuming office on January 7,